Welcome to English 10H,
I'm Jessie,
and I'm Hannah.
and we're going to tell you about the oral presentation and how you can make it the best that it can be.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the choosing the right topic, the actual oral presentation itself, and just like general things about time management and the other process behind the scenes.
Yep.
So with point one, we both decided to go for the beginning of the year. So we both chose Othello because that was the first one in this year last year for you guys.
Yeah. And in my case, I took in consideration that the second semester I wouldn't be able to have a lunch, and so my main priority was to have an oral presentation in the first semester.
Yeah, and especially if you're taking AP classes for the first time this year, take into account that they are in May and April, or you're studying in April, so that's a lot earlier than what people are usually used to with finals in like June.
Yeah.
So take that into consideration. If you're taking an AP class, you might not want to choose April.
Yeah, it's better to just get it done over with.
Yeah, and especially like if you're not going to do that, do it right after a break. So then you have the break to work on it and actually write the essay and plan the presentation.
Yeah. Now talking about point two, it's the actual oral presentation, and with the oral presentation, the actual presentation itself, like speaking in front of the class, is not the hardest part. It's actually preparing for it and writing the essays and having a timely schedule
and
so that
formulating like the concepts and stuff beforehand. By the time you get to the actual presentation, you'll know your topic so well. But that's where you got to be careful. Don't put all of your knowledge on the slides and don't share it all with the class. Try to conceptualize it.
Bullet points.
Yeah, few words on a slide will do. So keep all the really analytical part for the essay, not for the class.
And if you want to talk about those analytical parts, just explain it instead of having on the slides. Maybe you could have like a little like brief like outline of what it's about, and having a simple the simple look of just slides is easier for the audience and for the teacher, so that they can all like see the big picture.
And for the activity, don't be afraid to be really original with it. In our class, like a lot of people found a way to take their topic and then pull it into current events and try something that was different than just the normal format of an activity with like worksheets or some kind of class discussion. So you can be really creative with it.
Yeah, but while being creative, make sure that it's really organized, because some activities some of the directions were not very clear.
Yeah, don't just say like here are the directions, now go do it. Yeah. Like you actually have to organize people into groups. Try to get the desks arranged beforehand and have people sit there for the lesson. Makes everything go really orderly.
Yeah, and you'll have more time to do everything. Yeah.
So for our third point, we're just going to talk about general time management. And the Miss Putnam will give you the due dates for things. So make sure you actually have things in by that due date, and not only because she's grading like 3 other things on that day for each class, or for her like classes altogether, but also because it's gonna suck if it's the last week and you still need to do your rough draft and your presentation, because it's hard to do your presentation if you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and also if you miss one date, it can be very detrimental to your schedule, because after that it could be like domino effect. Like you're just gonna keep on missing dates and sending things back and further back, so that by the time you get to your oral presentation date, you don't feel as comfortable and you feel like you just rush to get everything all together. And
spend a lot of time on those the critics.
Yeah.
Because that's actually where Hannah and I both found most of our stuff from those.
A lot.
So if you're going to do anything, it's okay to just make it a really rough draft, but make sure you spend time on those criticisms.
And by having a timely schedule and getting these things on time, it actually makes it easier for the teacher to see it, so that she doesn't forget about it, and she knows that on this day you handed this in, so that she'll you'll be prepared to get these comments and have enough time before your actual presentation to fix them and revise them.
And make sure you bring food if you can, because a lot of people like food and they'll remember if you don't bring food.
Yeah, and make yourself look somewhat presentable.
Yeah, for the actual presentation. Look nice, look like a teacher. Not exactly, but dress nicely. And project your voice, be confident. No one else knows what you're talking about, so it's great. You're the expert.